Sam Sulek gets schooled by Samson Dauda. Coach Reg, in today's video, Sam Sulek gets schooled by Samson Dauda. Samson Dauda takes Sam Sulek under his wing and puts him through an entire chest workout, and throughout the video, he tells him he's training wrong. And remember, Samson Dauda is very experienced. He's one of the best bodybuilders in the entire world. Sam Sulek only 21 years of age, and so I hope he takes his advice. Samson Dauda wants the best for Sam Sulek, and he's giving him advice that he needs to listen to. You probably already know this, but Sam Sulek likes to train extremely heavy, taking many of his sets to failure and perhaps not using the best technique. Def Nipper did an extensive analysis of his lifting, said 96 to 98% of his sets were done to failure and beyond, and that he was not prioritizing certain body parts effectively, that he was doing too many sets for some exercise, not enough for another. Let's listen to Samson Dauda with no hold barred telling Sam Sulek exactly what he's doing wrong.
I'm fully carved up because I'm bulking, so I think this might be the only time we'll be able to lift comparable weights.
And so Sam Sulek, he's fully carved up, and I can vouch for that. I watched him walk around with Papa John's pizza throughout the weekend. He's leaving no stone unturned. He's eating more calories than last time, but is he in fact training correctly? We are going to soon see exactly what Samson Dauda thinks.
First off, man, always get nice and warmed up, get that joints in. I've spent the last how many weeks just training and talking. So today, first I'm giving you guys a brief insight on what chest workout looks like.
And so Samson Dauda's advice, start out nice and light. Don't hurt your joints. Be very careful. You don't want to ego lift in the gym. You want to make sure you don't get injured.
120s is not the first set. I've been kind of warming up a little bit already.
And so notice the difference in weight. Samson Dauda saying take your time, lift very light weights. He's lifting perhaps 60, 70 pounds. Sam Sulek then grabs the 120s. Now remember, it's not his first set, but notice the intensity. This is not his final set. He's working up. He's pyramiding up in weights. And when you pyramid up in weight, you leave a little bit in the tank. You don't go to failure. You're saving going to failure for your last and final set when you're going to give it harder than last time. Even Jeff Nippert said perhaps 1 out of every 3 sets should be done and taken to failure. And notice as he does the exercise, he's not getting full range of motion. In particular, he's not going all the way down. And I can say based on the literature, based on the science, the stretch at the bottom portion of the rep, very important. Long length partials, perhaps even better than doing full range of motion. And so we're going to be lenient with him not pressing the weight all the way up. Perhaps he doesn't want to go all the way up. When you go towards the top, you're getting more tricep focus at the end. And so perhaps he's want to keep constant tension on the chest, but notice he's not going all the way down. And why do you think that is? If he were to go all the way down, do you think he would get as many reps as the way he's doing it right now? He's ego lifting, doing partial reps so that he can lift heavier. And so notice the rep cadence. Is he going slower on the way down and the way up? Remember, the eccentric or downward phase, the bar should be going slower. Concentric, you can explode up. Is he pausing the weight? Is he exhibiting amazing control of the movement? Is he using a proper mind-muscle connection? Is he doing TUT, time under tension? Or is he just ego lifting in the gym? And so notice he only gets 5 reps warming up for his last attempt. What I recommend is to do higher reps on the first set and each set go gradually lower. For example, on set number 1 with a light weight, you perhaps do 15 repetitions. Set 2, you could do 12 repetitions. Set 3, you could get 10. And on the final set, harder than last time to failure, perhaps you're getting 8 reps only. But Sam, he's preferring to do only 5 reps. This is essentially how powerlifters like to train. But remember, he's not a powerlifter. Does he not care more about how the muscles look than how strong they are?
You see any 140s around?
And so the next set, after doing 120 for 5 repetitions, he's grabbing the 140s. And remember, this isn't his heaviest set. He plans to go heavier than this. He's going to do the 140s. And so notice, he trains to failure. He gets 11, goes for 12, doesn't get it. That means he went to failure and or beyond. And this was not his planned heaviest set. And so rather than saving some in the tank, he decided to go all out. Remember, on the previous set, he did 5 reps. Would it not have made it more sense to perhaps go for 10 reps with the 120s and then go all out with the 140s, perhaps the 150s, or perhaps just do greater range of motion, pause the weight, and have a greater mind-muscle connection?
I thought I was going to be able to go heavy.
That's about the max.
Why are you pushing so heavy?
And so Sam, disappointed, says, I thought I was going to go heavier. I'm disappointed. That's going to have to be my max. And Samson Dauda responds with, why are you pushing so heavy? Why are you lifting these heavy weights?
I don't like it.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, man, you're not using the muscle you're supposed to be using to do it. You're concerned too much about lifting so heavy that you're not actually pushing your chest out of it.
You're just saying, push it up with any means necessary, and that is good enough. Well, maybe at 21, but Samson Dauda, speaking from experience, he's an experienced lifter, he's been training for years, saying you need to be careful. You can, in fact, do better. And so he's not trying to put him down. He's trying to help him by giving him constructive criticism. Many of you hate on Coach Greg, giving out constructive criticism. Hey, maybe you shouldn't drink 4 liters of chocolate milk a day, have 5 Guys burgers and fries and donuts in order to bulk up. Maybe that's not the best idea. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your blood work. Oh, Coach Greg is a hater. Why? Because I'm trying to teach Sam Sulek and his followers, his millions of fans, that perhaps it's not a smart idea to bulk in such capacity. How is that bad? How is it bad that I'm using Sam Sulek to help people to learn how to eat properly?
You're not using the most full capacity of it. You're trying to build chest or you're trying to be strong?
Which is it? Because if it's trying to build your chest, you're lifting too heavy. This is from Samson Dauda. He got second in the Arnold Classic. One of the best bodybuilders in the world. It should be an honor, a privilege to even have the opportunity to work out with him.
You gotta think about it. You're lifting a lot heavier weight in your second set than you should do.
And so Sam, he has no response to this. He just looks at the camera. He has no response. He's listening, waiting to see what Samson will say. He says, you're pushing way too much weight for reps on your second set. You need to save it for your last set. Samson Dauda is making perfect sense. He's trying to help Sam.
When you're pulling that out so much and you're constantly just moving the heavy weight, you have more risk, especially doing free-weight dumbbell.
It's not worth it. The chance of getting hurt are extreme. It's not as if it's a machine. He's not controlling the weight enough. He's just trying to push really heavy weights, and it's not worth it. But remember, when you're 21 years of age, your brain isn't fully developed yet. You don't know, you can't relate to the risk versus reward of any given exercise. All you're thinking is, I want to get big, I want to get jacked at any means necessary. But Samson Dauda, he's trying to help.
But you actually get to a massive you actually feel and actually and getting that motion on the chest and coming down to the ring and getting that contraction in it.
And so he wants to be deliberate and consistent with his actions. Slowly lower the weight, perhaps pause at the bottom, get rid of the stretch reflex, which is very dangerous for people trying to tear pecs, in particular if you're abusing performance-enhancing drugs. The tendons, they don't get as strong as quickly as the muscles. And so oftentimes people who are abusing drugs, they will often get a pec tear, bicep tear, quad tear, you name it, they are more prone to getting injured. And so if you are in fact not natural, be even more cautious than if you were. And so it takes more patience, it takes a greater man of greater fortitude to use lighter weights in the gym. Think of it, Samson Dauda, who's 50 pounds more muscle than Sam Sulek, is lifting lighter weights. But he doesn't care because he's leaving his ego at the door. That takes balls, that takes courage. It's a lot harder to lighten the weight and go slowly with an exercise than it is to just show off and put as much weight as humanly possible.
What do you think the limit is on necessary weight? Because I don't really think I'd ever need to do 200s or anything like that.
And so a great discussion, and so I hope you understand this. Sam Sulek is saying, what is the weight limit that I should be putting on? Because after all, if I put on 200 pounds, there's going to be more mechanical tension on the muscle than if I have 140 pounds. And so is it not better to lift more weight? Samson Dauda's response, a great one. He says, your muscles have no idea how much you're actually lifting. The muscle, the pecs, the strands, the tendons do not know exactly how much weight is on that bar. And so if you're lowering it slower or you're lifting it at a different angle, perhaps a bit wider, you're going into a deeper stretch, you're completely changing the dynamics of the muscle. And so rather than thinking the most important factor is how much weight is on that bar, forget that. It's how much are you actually putting into the exercise? What effort are you exerting? If you go through a partial range of motion versus a complete range of motion, it's totally different. When I was doing chest yesterday, which is part of my entire body workout, I only had 2.5 plates on each side of the machine. I used to put 5 plates on each side. And so literally I'm only lifting half of what I used to, but I was using full range of motion, way below, as deep as I could get, and pausing the weight. I was going twice as slow on the eccentric as I was on the concentric. And sure, I could have put 3.5 plates and got the same amount of reps. But rather than that, I left my ego at the door and used 2.5 plates. That's an entire plate less on each side. That's significantly lighter. But yet, I got a great workout with far less risk of injury. And even today, I can feel the chest, a little bit of tightness in there, meaning I had a great workout. I can tell it's not overly sore. I can train my chest about every 3 days and recover from that. And so if you want to get an amazing workout, forget ego lifting and do as Samson Dauda recommends.
So when I'm saying that, not because I don't know you're freaking strong enough to lift 200. That's an idea.
What you're doing during the lift is far more important than the number on that bar. And so forget about how much weight you're lifting, and I get it. You're thinking you have to progressive overload. You have to lift more weight for more reps. Bullshit. Progressive overload does not just involve lifting a heavier weight. It can involve slowing the weight down, pausing, greater mind-muscle connection, having better form, greater range of motion.
Contracting this and trying to make this open, you got to make sure that every movement you make, from the point you up here to the point down here, nothing but this takes attention.
And so it's all about contracting the muscle as hard as you can. Even without a weight, I can flex and squeeze. Think of it, when you're front double bicep, people are shaking. Front double bicep, there's no resistance in my hand. I'm not lifting any weight, but I am in fact doing a very strong isometric contraction.
You want to make sure this takes everything. The more you can do that with every movement and don't have no wasted movement, the more growth you're going to consist of.
Time under tension, it's very important. And if you're going through the reps too quickly, you could do 12 reps in, for example, 12 seconds. But if you're trying to train with proper time under tension, you need to deliberately slow down those exercises, take a bit longer. Each set at minimum should be taking minimum of 2 seconds. And so if you're pounding out 10 reps in 10 seconds, it's way too fast. That's what she said.
Time under tension is so small, and you just kind of pound it out. It's more cardio, just you pound out heavy weight. But when you actually contract and break down the muscle fire, open up, that's what causes growth.
Let that sink in a little bit. Samson Dauda giving excellent advice, and many of you are saying just ego lift in the gym, that's the way to go. And yes, it's still going to work, but not as good as if you deliberately lift the weight with purpose, with intent, to do so in the best fashion possible. Remember, we don't want you to get hurt. You perhaps can get away with it for several years, but eventually you're going to be injured, and you're going to perhaps look back and say, why didn't I listen to Samson Dauda?
Let's see what kind of set I can get with the hundreds instead of the 150s.
And so rather than using the 150s next up, he's only going to be using the hundreds. He's taking Samson Dauda's advice. We're going to watch his set and see, does it make a difference?
Imagine when your chest, squeeze it, there we go. Right here, squeeze it, there you go. That's better, squeeze it. Nice, that's better. Contraction, squeeze it. There you go.
Now, as I'm watching you do these reps, Samson wants him to squeeze his finger at the top, really squeeze at the top. I would be recommending that he goes even lower and pauses at the bottom. The bottom, in the deepest stretch position, that is going to be the hardest part of the exercise. And so imagine holding that for 1 or 2 seconds. The tension that will build up. No stretch reflex, eliminating that, and having to deliberately squeeze those muscles and pressing and holding, squeezing at the top. And slowly lower that weight down, pause. Press up harder than last time and squeeze. Squeeze the chest in the middle. Imagine the chest development you can get.
Really, that's work. Again, squeeze. And again, one more. Squeeze. Yep. There you go. It's beautiful.
And notice he still reached failure. Notice he trained harder than last time. And notice it was only with the hundreds. And so did he really need the 150s? The hundreds looked perfect. Why are we using the 120s, the 140s, the 150s, and why even have a goal of the 200s? It's no purpose. He's not a power lifter. He's not entering a competition. He's not trying to beat out Larry Wheels. He wants to be a bodybuilder. And so for the bodybuilders out there, if you're a fan of Sam Sulek, did I just shit on him in this video? Or did I tell him to listen to Samson Dauda's advice, of which I thought was perfect? He was excellent, explained it in detail. And so if you haven't watched this video and you saw the title, oh, Coach Greg, Sam Sulek's living in your head, run free. Or am I trying to help you? Now, if you're looking for help in the gym and you're trying to stay natty, my favorite natty stack, GO2 Max for improved cardio and Turk Builder for improved muscle building as well as more focus and power in the gym, you have to give this a try. The research is clear. I know many of you are skeptical. If you are, don't get it. I'm telling you, it makes an amazing difference in my training. I absolutely recommend both GO2 Max and Turk Builder. And if you're interested in any of these, head over to my website. Don't forget, code Greg, 15% off.
When you think about that, and you realize you have to do so much, you realize you don't actually need that much weight to actually feel that percent first place. Yeah.
Amazing. This is what you want to do. This is what recording videos is all about. And so you can watch people ego lifting in the gym, training hard than last time with blasting music in the background, heavy metal and so on, getting amped up. That's great. It's fine. But you can also watch somebody avoid ego lifting in the gym, avoiding injury and gaining greater muscle growth in the process. And so you do not think Sam Sulek appreciates that advice? Do you not think he agrees with him? He lightened the weight, got a great set. He realizes I can build just as much muscle in a safer environment by pushing a lighter weight. You're leaving your ego at the door because you have so much confidence that you don't need to show off how strong you are to the world. That takes a lot of courage. And so I urge all of you, the next time you go to the gym, stop thinking I have to set a PR, I have to lift more weight than ever before, and think I need to lift better than ever before.
Many questions to be answered. How much weight is really necessary? I'm inclined to believe him. I mean, we should just get a good look at the two of us.
By looking at Samson Dauda and realizing he trains like that, he's thinking, probably don't need that much weight. Don't need to lift crazy heavy weights, ego lifting in the gym. Look at Samson Dauda, look at the development he has. And that's from squeezing with lighter weights, leaving his ego at the door and truly understanding the purpose of the movement. And so let me know in the comment section, have I convinced you? Have I taught you anything? Have you learned that perhaps you don't need to ego lift in the gym? Best video so far. You could see that Samson genuinely wanted to help Sam and wasn't just getting the content done for content's sake. Samson not one to blow smoke up Sam's ass like everyone else would be RN. What a guy. Samson is the right guy to tell Sam to bring the weight down. You can actually tell the difference of their form. And so let this be a lesson to you. You can in fact learn from somebody telling somebody that they're perhaps doing it wrong, to think about something different. If you're stuck in your head and don't think that you can do anything different, you're never going to change. And so the first thing you need to do to be willing to learn is you need to accept that other people have different ideas from your own. And rather than simply hating on someone, listen to them, have a debate, listen to their points, give it a try, think about it. And after analyze, thinking, critiquing it, you can then decide, is this information actually worth it? Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost your algorithm, like the video if you like it. Don't forget to watch one of those two bloops. And of course, cookbooks, the Circle Diet book, the training books, all the books, PDF, hard copy. You can get it all on the website. All of the supplements, there's too many to name, as well as the clothing line, get it all there. There's also free diet and training programs, up to 50 pages on my website. Become one of the 300,000 plus newsletter subscribers. And until next time, I am out.